A reading from Isaiah 64, verses 1 through 9. Oh, that you would tear open the heavens and come down, so that the mountains would quake at your presence, as when fire kindles brushwood and the fire causes water to boil. Oh, to make your name known to your adversaries, so that the nations might tremble at your presence. Whew! But those were the times when you did awesome deeds that we did not expect. You came down and the mountains quaked at your presence. From ages past till now, no one has heard, no ear has perceived, no eye has seen any God besides you, who works for those who wait for them. You meet those who gladly do right, those who remember you and your ways. But you were angry and we sinned because you had hid yourself. We transgressed. We have all become like one who is unclean, and all of our righteous deeds are like filthy cloth. We all fade like a leaf, and our iniquities, like the wind, take us away. It seems there is no one who calls on your name or attempts to take hold of you. For you have hidden your face from us, and you have delivered us into the hand of our own iniquity. What were we to do? Yet, O God, you are our God, and we are the clay, and you are the potter, and we are the work of your hands. Do not be exceedingly angry, O God. Do not remember our iniquity forever. Just please reveal yourself to us and remember that we are all your people. God is still speaking. You used to do great things, O God. Mountains trembling kind of things. I mean, that's big. You used to do great things in the land, and we could see it, and everyone could see it, and everyone was like, oh, wow, that's very clearly God. And then at some point, I felt like you just stopped doing great things. You stopped showing us your face. You felt very hidden from us, and we didn't even know where you were. So we kind of started doing our own thing. And it's not always great, we can admit that. But we didn't think you were there anymore. We couldn't see you. We didn't know you were still looking, okay? So we started sinning, each in our own way, and we lost sight of some things. We lost sight of you, God. When I read this text, I hear my son's voice in my mind. You see, I have a son who is impulsively gifted impulsiveness. He's very, very good at finding and seizing opportunities for impulsivity. Very pro-impulse. And there was a time, not that long ago, when watching on my downstairs camera, I watched my beloved son test the sink handles just to see how far they could turn. You may know that there's a natural point where it feels like the handle stops. But if you put 80 pounds of pressure behind it, you can actually make sink handles go all the way around. My son is impulsively gifted. And I watched this giftedness play out on my phone screen with a growing sense of dread. And of course, when I realized what was happening, I put down my phone and I ran into the kitchen. And what do you think were the first words out of my son's mouth? I didn't know you were watching, Mom. I didn't know you were watching. As if my watching was the one thing that could have stopped the sink catastrophe of 2023. In this Advent text, the author is crying out, we didn't know you were watching. Had you just been there, God, we would have acted different. We didn't know you were watching. We are an impulsively gifted people. We are very good at seeking out and seizing opportunities to be impulsive, to act, to do, to satisfy our needs and our wants. We're impulsive people, many of us. Just look at our houses and the stuff that's already under our Christmas trees. How many clothes we have in our closets, the way we spend our money, our time, the way that we feel, and how it's so easily influenced by what we watch or see or consume. We are impulsive people. Had we known, God, that you were watching, that you were there the whole time, we wouldn't have had to resort to our own impulses. But we couldn't find you, we couldn't feel you, we couldn't see you. Don't be angry, God. Remember, we are your people. We just didn't know you were watching. My son is impulsive, and for a long time, my wife and I worked against this impulsivity in attempts to harness it and snuff it out and contain it. We tried 1,000 different ways to control and stop his impulsiveness. We put him in a box, metaphorically, and said, anything outside of this box, don't do it. Don't touch it. Don't even think about it. And of course, this didn't work. Anytime we weren't there right beside him, what did he do? He touched it, or he turned it on, or he took it, or whatever it was that he wanted to do. And one day, we decided to stop fighting his impulsivity and instead to set up the environment around him to be impulsively friendly. There are books stashed in little places where if you just want to get off task, here's a safe way to do that. Toys hidden in crevices. It's okay if you're wandering and snooping in drawers and moving around in places you shouldn't be. There's something here for you. Shiny objects in places where we know plumbing is. We learn to change the environment, to have it better hold the impulsivity, the impulsive giftedness of our son, which is much less likely to change. We change the environment in a way that he always knows that we're there, that we're watching. There's a note that says, check this out, and don't forget that your parents are aware. We're watching. He's reminded that we're there, and he's more free to lean into his gifts of curiosity, of what-ifing everything. It's a terrifying one on one hand, but I never want to snuff out the what-if gift that he has. The prophet in Isaiah cried out, "Where are you, God? We didn't know you were watching. We didn't know that you were there." In the season of Advent, how can we change our environment or our perception of our environment to always see, oh yeah, there's God. There's God in these weary days on the news of wars and devastations and atrocities and loss and many of our own personal journeys that have weariness and grief. Perhaps in this season, amidst it all, there's an opportunity to change our environment, to intentionally sneak little messages from God into our spaces, into each other's spaces. Maybe we need something shiny in our lives right now to spark our curiosity, get us excited, make us feel hopeful. What is that for you? What is that for the people you love? What is it that you can surround yourself in that helps you to be curious again and ask, what if? We are a people that are impulsive to the environment around us. And that's just a reality of who we are. And what a beautiful thing. What a beautiful opportunity. In this Advent time, let us each find ways in our environment to connect with God and with each other and with ourselves. And maybe it starts small with little notes to ourselves or our joy tunes up, whatever those are for you, or putting something shiny in our pocket, not the pockets we have on right now, but the pockets we're going to be wearing in a few days. Surprise ourselves. God doesn't forget that we are their people, and God hasn't stopped being present among us. But we might forget that the Spirit shows up in surprising and shiny ways when we're willing to look for it. Amen? Amen.